Hello, welcome to your week ahead forecast from the Met Office. Plenty to keep us occupied over the next few days. Warmth and humidity, and that all adds up to the risk of thunderstorms. Here's the bigger picture. Low pressure dominating out in the Atlantic. If you run through the sequence of the rest of this working week, that low doesn't really shift. Little features just mill around it all the while. It gets a little closer and throws some weather fronts our way, but the low generally just stays out west. The reason for that is because there's nothing to push it through. The jet stream is dipping down in the Atlantic and keeping things fairly stationary. But with low pressure systems here and throwing up warm and humid air at times across particularly parts of England and Wales. And as I said at the start, that combination of the moisture from the low pressure and the Atlantic with the warm and humid air does allow us to see some thunderstorms. Already seen some, of course, through the course of the weekend, but we are in line for more. Wet weather will trickle into western areas during Tuesday. For many, it's a fine day with some good spells of sunshine and a brighter day, certainly for eastern Scotland, although the coast of Aberdeenshire and the Northern Isles may well see a lot of high and low cloud. Further west, there'll be a lot of low cloud as we see outbreaks of rain trickling in, but it could be quite heavy by the end of the day, and that rain, which is a weather front, will suppress the temperatures. But further east, a warmer day, and probably the warmest day of the year so far, 25, 26, possibly 27 Celsius across parts of eastern England. So quite a contrast on Tuesday, but that warmth and humidity with the moisture could well spark some thunderstorms across France, which threaten to push up on Tuesday evening across East Anglia and the southeast. All the while, that weather front will be working into Scotland and parts of northern England. Again, some heavy rain mixed in with that as well. It'll be a fairly mild night again and a fairly mild start to Wednesday. Those weather fronts start to push out of the way, but we're still in this repeat cycle with this washing machine low pressure out to the west, throwing up weather fronts, but also continuing to throw up the warmth and the moisture. For most, actually, again, Wednesday during the day, we won't see much rain. For many, it'll be fine and sunny. A brighter day, certainly for Northern Ireland, Wales and southwest England. A few showers likely across northwest Scotland, but generally, it's going to be a fine, as I say, warm, sunny day. Not as warm, the air's not as humid as Tuesday, but we could still get into the lower, even mid-20s across parts of the southeast. With more sunshine further west, it'll feel quite a bit warmer, but what's this? Lurking down across the channel again. The threat of another one of those plumes of warm air pushing up, bringing the risk of more thunderstorms. And these could be really quite heavy through Wednesday evening and into Thursday as this set of weather fronts push northwards. Another weather front from that low swinging into the west at the same time. So a pincer movement, if you like, with the potential for both of these to bring some heavy rain, but we're particularly keeping our eyes across the southeast where there could be some big thunderstorms during Wednesday night into the first part of Thursday morning. Again, at this range, detail is hard to pin down. It's one of those ones we'll need to keep a close eye on, so keep up to date with the forecast. During Thursday, that plume of warm air should clear away, and again for many during the day it looks largely dry and fine with some sunny spells and temperatures up to a pleasant 19 to maybe 23 or 24 across the southeast. Just the risk of one or two showers coming into the northwest, where it will remain fairly breezy throughout this week. By the time we get to Friday, it's, again, another question of watching that low pressure system throw weather fronts in, but also keeping our eyes down to the south where there is the potential for further thundery rain to come up as we go through the day. So this repeat cycle again during Friday. Many places dry and fine through the day, but at some point we are likely to see again the risk of showers and thunderstorms drifting up from the south. At the same time, weather fronts bringing more cloud and moisture in from the northwest. So the potential for some lively weather, as I said, through this week. Many places by day we'll see a fair bit of sunshine, but there are a risk of those thundery showers coming in. As we head into the weekend, a bit of a shift going on. There's a ridge of high pressure trying to build in from the south. There are weather fronts out west, but by the weekend, the jet stream has shifted into a more east-west orientation. So that suggests the weather won't be quite the same patterns as we've seen throughout the week. And we're more likely to see, with this ridge building in, some fine weather persisting across the south without the risk of thunderstorms. Now, as I said, detail of these thunderstorms is hard to pin down at this kind of range. So make sure you stay up to date with the forecast. Best way to do that, download the app. or visit the website frequently. But of course, follow us on social media as well. We have regional Twitter feeds now that particularly focus on these thunderstorms when they're breaking out. So make sure you're following us across social media and stay up to date with the forecast and stay weather aware.